Hello there, internet. Oh boy, it's been a while since we drifted through space, haven't it? Let's jump straight in. I don't really have any build in mind for today. Let's see where it gets us. Okay, so what do we have? Straight away we get the flag. Tempting. Split shot. Sure, let's go with the flag. I haven't really been following the recent patches on Nova Drift, so I don't really know what's changed, whether there have even been any balance changes. I know there is a new menu, which is pretty cool. The settings here and the list of super mods. This is awesome. Finally can check that in game instead of having to look it up on my phone or alt tabbing from the game. Oh, and there's an abort. Okay, fine. The shockwave. I am a big fan of this shield. I think it's my favorite shield from all the shields that are available at the moment. Maybe the Halo is up there, but I think the shockwave is just a great shield. A Spectre. How about we make some sneaky shockwave build, maybe with the Dying Star as well. That could be fun. So what would I want straight away? Guess Discharge? Discharge doesn't break stealth, does it? It's gonna be great for triggering shockwave. Okay, sure. This can be very interesting. I guess we won't be really upgrading the weapons. I'm thinking hidden power. Deadly Wake could be useful as well, but maybe let's grab the regeneration first, just in case. Solar Heart, but also the shield effect rages. This would increase our burn. We won't be really doing flood damage. This will also be great for constantly triggering cooldown on the shield. Okay, sure. Okay, I can see this working. We just need to reduce our shield cooldown. I want to take definitely not the Tempest break, because that would cause the shield to cool down only after it breaks, and that's no bueno. However, flash shielding? Maybe? What are... We only have 60 shields, so that will leave us with like what, 35, 40 shields only. That's not great. I'm afraid that this would cause the... I mean, if we're going to take the Dying Star, then Dying Star is going to chew through that shield really fast. So maybe not the flash shielding. However, the Ataraxia would be really good here. I don't know if I'm gonna want the hull strength, the force armor. I mean, the shield is probably going to break a lot. The efficiency, that's very good for that 20% faster shield cooldown. Flash shielding, I don't think so. Volatile shield discharge, more likely. This weapon hits or crash damage, I guess this doesn't count as a weapon hit. I haven't really tested that out, but I'm going to assume that it doesn't count as one. I suppose we could actually go Omni shields with like regenerative shields. That could work as well. Then I have a big pool. Okay, Defiance. Yeah, I'm gonna do self-damage. Adaptive armor is gonna be useful too. Incandescence. I mean, definitely for the Dying Star. However, maybe not right yet. It doesn't really do much. I do wonder if does the shockwave trigger corrosion? That might be useful. I'm gonna go volatile shields first. Shield durability, definitely. Barrier is also going to be useful. There's that reduction in the cooldown, but that's fine, I think. Discharge, I think until we have the hidden power, then I don't really want discharge yet. I can just sit here and slowly kill him with the shockwave, I suppose. Maybe it's going to take a little bit too long to do that. Galvanizing outpost doesn't trigger from the discharge, does it? I think let's grab the adaptive armor first. Let's grab some stacks. Discord, you say? So energized shields would be really useful as well for that cooldown reduction. But maybe let's grab Discord. I mean, we're going a stealth explosive build pretty much, so why not add something that can attack while we are stealthed as well? Sounds like a good idea. Do I want channeling or that energized shield? I think maybe channeling first, just to get this core shielding and get dying star sooner rather than later. I just love the shockwave shield, so great. Omni shield. Do I want Omni shield straight away? It does add shield effect power, so shield resistance. Sure, let's go, why not? Conversion maybe later. Let's focus on that. On that dying star. So I need the regenerative shields first. Core shielding, hidden power. I want to go hidden power already. We have a boss upcoming, so maybe not just yet, because it will take forever to kill it with just the Discord and the shockwave. Okay, what else? Do I want reflexive shields? Well, it's 5% more shields. And it will also trigger with the discharge, so I suppose that's pretty useful. this is so great with the shockwave shield. It just pushes everything away from you. You can actually sit inside of him during that phase, and the shockwave will pretty much push all of those energy balls away from you. Okay, what else? Well, Revelation, obviously. Oh, hello there. You seem to have a new viewer. Okay. Yep. Revelation. Just have to take it. The corrosion. Okay, let's see whether this whether shockwave applies corrosion. Never really checked that. This might be difficult to test because the Discord definitely does apply corrosion. Yeah, it seems like it's like the shockwave does apply corrosion. This is quite interesting, actually. I suppose it doesn't really make much of a difference, since corrosion to get really corrosion going, you need a lot of stacks. Now the regenerative shields, this might maybe break the cooldown on the shockwave from the solar hat for now, but I think it will work just fine with the dying star once we get it. Well, there goes our big XP straight into the sink. No, my XP. Oh, damn it, black hole. So hungry, so possessive. Looks like that the cooldown is still triggering just fine with the regenerative shields. Ooh, bravado! Doesn't really do much for us in terms of the Spectre body. I guess you maybe stealth faster, so I don't know if it's working that way. And the total weapon damage isn't really going to be useful since we are taking the what's its face hidden power. It's more XP as well, but more elites and champions. And I have a feeling that this is not going to be a high-powered build. So actually, shouldn't I get the purification first? This might kill me. What is my regeneration of heal? She's only 3 points per second. Okay, let's try getting purification first. We could go Gemini protocol and adrenal module as well. That would be useful. Okay, there's the purification. And yeah, while shockwave does apply corrosion, it's just a single stack, so it doesn't really do anything. And I just love that shockwave explosion, killing all the tiny ships. I suppose it does spread the corrosion into missiles and such. Again, I don't think we are just ready yet for the hidden power, especially with the boss on screen right now. So maybe let's get Gemini protocol and let's hope it was fixed and it won't just burn through my hull even when I have the shields up. The shockwave shields have to be one of the best defensive shields at the moment, simply because it just pushes so many projectiles away from you. Okay, so what do we have here? Discharge. Again, not yet. Once we have the hidden power. Maybe there we go, Dying Star. So now we need the hidden power. And let's just watch the universe burn and explode. Last stand. There was some interesting synergy with Last Stand, but I don't quite remember what it was. Maybe with the retribution and mines. Yeah, I think you could just go into the last stand and like reduce your max health to like a sliver, so you can rapidly trigger the mines from the retribution. Okay, nothing really too interesting in here. Again, do we want emergency systems? I mean, if our shield breaks, we are just instantly dead anyways. So Aegis might be good. Yeah, okay. Can get behind that. Oh, 2 Spitfires at once, this early on. It's unusual. No missiles for you, Mr. Juggernaut. With this setup we're pretty much immune to any kind of breakable projectiles like the missiles. Discharge. Would want that hidden power or discharge should be fine as well. Oops. I wonder, so I've seen something about the next update being the enemies 2.0. I do wonder how it's going to change the balance of the game. Since it does look pretty interesting with what Chimeric wants to do with the AI tweaks and how the enemies spawn on the field. So from what I understand, he basically wants to reduce the amount of enemies on screen at any given time, but they will spawn in a more tactical way. That could be interesting, but I wonder if this is going to change the builds to favor the very high-powered one-shot type of builds, like, you know, like a charged railgun or something, so that you can just instantly wipe out the biggest threat on the screen. Okay, I don't think I want another Solar Heart. We will try to grab some of the energized shields, maybe. Okay, now to reduce the radius. Yeah, I guess. Because this will reduce our shield cooldown and maximum shield, so maybe it's not great. This basically cancels each other out and we just get more shields and more power. Then we're gonna grab the weaponized shields as well. Just thinking okay, so weaponized shields. Still didn't get the hidden power. Sure, let's get this. The radius is really small. So I suppose it doesn't really. It's kind of a waste, I suppose. Okay, and hidden power. We just sit somewhere nearby to the boss and watch him slowly die. And there he goes. I suppose we still can definitely attack if we so desire. Oh no. Definitely don't want to be anywhere near that. Look at that middle thread. Aegis. So I do wonder whether Discord triggers this. I mean, it triggers auto on hit effects, so it might trigger the Terminate as well. Something worth checking out, I suppose. So let's grab the Aegis and let's see, like, what else would we possibly want. Okay, hold on a second, let me check something out. I think oh, there we go. I was wondering why is nobody speaking on the chat, and I just my Streamlabs just bugged out and was showing an empty box for whatever reason. So yeah, hi guys, hi Willy and Hamstinator. Okay, yeah, I thought that there was something fishy going on there. Let's see. Yeah, it should be fine now. Yep, it's working right now. So, hello again. Okay, let's go. Let's get back to the game. Aegis, definitely. Emergency system. I mean, we're just gonna... There's no way the shield would come back, especially with the Gemini protocol. And Sanctuary definitely not. Hull upgrades, I don't think so. Celestial Lance also no. Okay, so at this point I think that we can either... I guess we can go for Ataraxia now, because I don't think there is anything else from the base mods that I would want in this build. I suppose, like, I mean, maybe strafing for moving while cloaked. But I don't know, I'm just so bad with strafing. I will most likely just kill myself with it. So I think we're just going to grab Ataraxia now, and after that try to get some energized shields maybe. This is just look at how the shockwave is pushing all those projectiles away. You can sit right next to him and he just can't hit you at all. Also, by the way, how's the stream? Is the quality okay? The sound good? Everything? Just made a brief test before, but it seems fine, but you never really know. Especially since I'm using a new setup right now. Okay, cool. Cool. So we have 3 upgrades. I think you need 4 at least for Ataraxia. Maybe you can check that actually. Yeah, you have stockpile 4 unspent upgrades. So just one more level. Oh, is that a boost? I think so. This actually makes the shockwave shield makes the stealth builds so much more viable, I suppose. Since you got yet another source of damage that doesn't break your stealth. I mean, not that the stealth builds weren't viable before, but they're just even better now. Okay, here we go. Ataraxia. After that, Slipstream could also be good. It's global damage and it's better. It gives you 2% more damage compared to the Ataraxia. No, however, no shields and thrust bonus. Yeah. Yeah, I think that the slipstream might be also good because of the friction, right? You can just um, glide in space without thrusting really. It's more global damage, so more burning, more shockwave. Hello there. This is also, the shockwave is also great for him, since you just can push all of those energy orbs from the screen. Clears so much space. It's not the best DPS ever. I guess pretty nice ticks every now and then. I think it's even pushed Seraph away from me so that he didn't collide with us. It's pretty neat. And straight into another boss. What kind of stats do we have? Oh, decent regeneration. Basically, with that damage resistance, with that self-damage resistance, we are pretty much taking like what? Be 1 point, 1 or 2 points of self-burn per second. That's not bad, and it's enough to trigger the shockwave all the time. Because I think when I did the shockwave build for the YouTube, like the experimental build, I think I went for the what's it called, Tempest Break, and that it wasn't bad, but I think the Omni Shield with self-damage is just far better, because you don't need to break your shield constantly. The cooldown starts as soon as you take any kind of damage to the shield, which is constantly with the dying star. Holder. No, you go back into that black hole, thank you very much. No, he didn't want to go to the black hole. What a killjoy. Okay, I have 5 upgrades. Defiance. I suppose. Well, the plating is pretty much useless. The self-damage resistance is the only good thing, but maybe instead of Defiance the Masochist would be a better option. This is so unlike me. I usually like Defiance, 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 like my favorite wild mode, but in here maybe we don't really want Defiance. Because that will reduce our damage from Ataraxia here. And what is this? This is Galvanic Outburst, so not... I mean, it's a shield effect power. However, 2% only, Ataraxia is just better at this point. Blink, you say? For Blink, where is even Blink right now? It's in the kinetic boost tree, isn't it? Or is it? I don't remember even. I think we would have to invest like probably 3 points or 2 points. Alright, it's in the speed. Okay, so we could grab the Deadly Wake on the way, I suppose. That could work. Yeah, okay, oh yeah, because this is the emergency shielding tree. Do I want to just ban all of this? I don't really want anything from here. It's a bit late for Obsession. Sure, let's just ban everything there. We'll get smaller as well, so that can be pretty useful. The Masochist is going to give us what, like 7.5% of global damage, since the health is constantly at 1 point, and also increases self-damage resistance. It will also increase our burn percent, so Masochist is just straight up better than the Ataraxia point. So yeah, let's grab that. Let's stockpile maybe like another level up, and let's try finding the speed upgrade. Go for Blink. Ataraxia is what, 4% per upgrade? Or is it 5%? It's 5%, isn't it? So how are you all guys doing? Still sitting on lockdown? I've been sitting in home for like 3 months now, I think. Even more, maybe. It's pretty crazy. Not that I'm complaining, I suppose. I don't miss the outside world. just sitting home playing video games, hamstinator, right? Home office, yeah. So you're one of those lucky people who can work from home. I unfortunately wasn't so lucky, so yeah, it didn't really go very well for my career. I don't know, LED, do you really miss outside so much? I mean, in my kind of oh, so you live pretty close to your work. That is nice. It took me about an hour to get to my workplace, so not fun. But yeah, with the outside world, like, I don't really miss it that much, especially considering that I pretty much had to work with hello there. I had to work with customers, and there was a lot of just angry and self-righteous, I suppose, customers there, and dealing with that day to day for 8 hours a day is not fun. After sometimes you just have enough of people altogether. Okay, let's maybe... oh, well, we have thruster. Deadly wake and blink straight away. Yeah. Oh, I think, like, I mean, I never worked in IT, but I can relate because we were getting a lot of calls where people wanted us to support them when they were using like third-party websites and whatnot. So something that we didn't really have anything to do at all, and they were calling us and expecting us to basically do everything for them. So yeah, I can imagine how it can be in the IT, taking calls from people. And if it's anything like the IT crowd, then know, just have you tried turning it off and on again? I suppose, actually, now that I think about it, I had to deal with people on several occasions when they would come in to us with their laptop and just expect us to figure out why they can't connect to the internet on the like inside of our building. So I suppose I kind of maybe leaked some IT type of work, even though that definitely wasn't my job description, and people would get really angry if you refused to help them. But it's kind of like I don't know, if you go to a shop and they have a Wi-Fi there and you can't connect to it, you don't really expect someone from the staff to help you with that, right? But for some reason people have that kind of expectations. I don't really understand that. I have a friend who works in IT. However, from what I understand, he's like he's not on the front line. He basically deals with he doesn't deal with the oh shit. Welp, and that was a bit I guess I got distracted. Oh well, but that was a pretty fun build, really. If I paid a little bit more attention to what I'm doing rather than just talking about jobs and whatnot, maybe we could get it a little bit further than that. Okay, so let's start another build. What could we do for the next run? I don't know, maybe like a thermal lance build? I don't think I really did a thermal lance build that was just focused on the thermal lance itself. I did that charged mine build with the thermal lance. That was pretty nice. But I think charged mines were nerfed. Or at least they were nerfed with the what's its name, with the vortex. Okay, I don't really want any of these shields, I'm just gonna skip that. No, I don't think I have. What kind of build did they do? Okay, so Corsair? Nah, that seems crazy. Assault, I suppose. Ah, but for like what? For the ally or the drones? Because I think when I tried to do something like that, when you get more constructs, the shockwave shields get smaller and smaller. So when I had like drones and allies, it was just so tiny that it didn't really work at all. Allies and turrets. Yeah, that can be... I can see that be pretty effective. Huh. Interesting, I will have to check that, I suppose. Okay. Warpath. So this gets larger with the fire rate, right? Yeah, the blast radius and rate of fire affects the charge rate. Okay, sure. So we want as much fire rate as possible then, I suppose. Maybe even go for like the massive double tap. It pretty much works like with barrage, right? This is just a straight up 20% rate of fire, I think. I think the smaller projectiles like the sparks will shoot in the burst, but the lance itself is just a charge constant weapon. I suppose we'll go for the rupture as well later. I don't know if the barrage... Let's see. So, I can't actually view what the barrage does here. The barrage increases the fire rate as well, right? I guess Terminate Heal will be very useful. It also increases rate of fire, so just all around great. Blitz on the other hand, I mean the 20% is just useless, but the 5% weapon damage... I might go for Essence Sapped, however. Also where they were just pulling enemies in instead of pushing them away. That's interesting. Because normally when you have the shield on yourself, you wouldn't really want to pull the enemies in. That's pretty crazy. Okay, terminate. And I think the charge shot for this build is very good as well. That's interesting because then you just instead of pushing the enemies away from you, you are kind of pulling them away from you. It's an interesting idea. Okay, so I believe the double tap is just a straight up rate of fire upgrade for this. So let's grab that. We might out of these two, the payload is the better option, isn't it? And I think the charge shot will just in general increase the size of the lance, even with that minus 12% of rate of fire. If it charges slower with the burst fire, maybe. I mean, it might be the interaction there, but I don't really know. I definitely want incandescence. Does purification work? Purification does work with essence sub, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure it does. So we might go for like heavy healing on this build, at least as long as we are attacking something. I don't want to go for purification or the charge shot first. So this will further reduce our thrusting. We're gonna need the that mod. Wait, I don't remember how it's called right now. That reduces the negative effects of the thrust reduction from the weapons, if that makes any sense. Efficiency will be probably firing constantly, so maybe not. Power inversion pulls the enemies in when you hit them with the lance, I believe, which maybe not the best idea either. Suppose we can get some defenses. I don't know if I'm gonna be taking any shields here. I might. Sure, though. I was thinking that I might go for rapid reconstruction just for the bonus on hull stats, but it's probably better to just keep the shield, especially if we're going for the for essence sub. Okay. Juggernaut. This will further decrease our thrust. Maybe not the best idea. This tree is pretty much useless with the thermal lance, I think, because the snipe only triggers on impact, and this is for projectiles only anyway, so it doesn't work with the lance. Okay. Then do we want the regeneration at all? We could get essence sap and regenerative shields, but is that even worthwhile? Probably not. Solar Heart, I'm gonna be fine for now. And later with Essence up, it should be even better. Mastery or Corrosion? Suppose let's grab the Mastery while we... What was this? Rupture will give us some AoE on the for clearing waves, so it's probably worth investing a point in. I suppose we could grab the shockwave shield, since it's just such a good shield in general. I like how the lance have a little bit of penetration, so you can actually shoot targets from like with the mine layers. You can shoot them from behind their shield, and Station Omega you can shoot from the outside. Bravado. Now here that's going to improve our lance a little bit. Mostly for that rate of fire. I don't know if Assault is even the best body for the thermal lance. I can't really think of another body that would be better. And Defiance as well. Sure, let's grab Bravado. The siege weaponry, especially with the saturation fire, can surely saturation fire maybe not so much, because it increases the velocity, it's not the rate of fire. Yeah, but the siege weaponry can grow the lance pretty big, especially with Rancor and such. But this is just so dangerous. Especially not recommending it without essence up. Suppose blast radius, adaptive armor could also be good. Yeah, it does. The blast radius as well as the rate of fire increase their lance. So yeah, I'm gonna be definitely grabbing that. We might want to grab the agility as well, actually, because it will help us turn around. Double tap, I suppose. Death Blossom, I'm guessing it's probably just spawning those little sparks around you, so that's kind of meh. Some pretty big lance already. I feel like the rotation speed is kind of faster than it used to be. But maybe I'm just imagining things. Oh yeah, stabilization. So for stabilization we're gonna need the power reserves and the agility. That should help us a bit. Okay, surely. Good night and maybe see you sometime later. Okay, what do we have here? Rampage? I don't think so. Still didn't see the essence up even though we have it unlocked already. Oh, there we go. Ask and he shall receive. Okay, so here agility, rupture and absorption. Absorption will unlock rancor as well. Rupture, however, will help us clear a bit, and it will help us with Warbringer. Yeah, but with the polar inversion, sure, it gives you more blast radius, but it also pulls enemies towards you when you are hitting them with the lance, and that's not so great, maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure I tried thermal lance with the polar inversion, and if I remember correctly, it was pulling enemies towards you really fast. Yeah, but later with like bosses and the big juggernauts, I think that can be a problematic mod. And I don't know if we're even going to notice. Yeah, bosses get pulled as well. I think I had a lot of trouble on the Warbringer with the polar inversion. Like he was just constantly in my face. Same with what's its face. The one with the spinning balls. I don't remember his name right now. That can also be pretty problematic. I'm thinking Rapture, that should help clear a little bit. Yeah, he can be, because you see it is pulling him, pushing him away from me at a pretty rapid pace. I think I just lost all of that experience. Oh well. Oh no, it's right there. So I would be just pushing him towards me at a similar or even greater rate. Because I think, well, I mean, it will be the pushing will be faster because they are flying towards you as well. So you have to add their thrust to the push on top of that. Does what negate the effect? Let's get the power reserves. No, because it turns your push into a pull. So thermal lance stops pushing enemies away and it just pulls them towards you. Like same how it works with explosions. The explosions will just pull enemies instead of pushing them. I suppose we can add some shields maybe? We're on a single reroll, and shields are okay-ish, I suppose. I don't really want to end up in a situation where we have some completely useless mods and nothing to pick. Kind of like here, I suppose. I mean, barrier is okay. Could also banish everything. Not sure if I would want to banish the thrusters, so I suppose the barrier is just a good defensive mod. Sure. Let's grab it. So yeah, now with the power reserves we can just move around a lot better. Yeah, and the turning speed, like, it's getting faster. I have something that's increasing turning speed based on my level or something, because I don't have the agility yet. And I feel like I'm turning much faster than I did at the beginning of the game. Because this just reduces the rotation speed, but it doesn't seem to be scaling with level at all. So I'm not sure where is that rotation speed coming from. I don't think it's shown in here anywhere. Projector targeting, but not your turning speed. Kinetic boost. I suppose just for the emergency systems. I mean, kinetic boost is going to add a little bit of damage. I don't really know how does this scale exactly with speed, but I'm assuming you have to have pretty high speed to see any benefits from this. You could go for the barrage as well, but this will reduce our lance size. Actually, let me check. What does the barrage do exactly? Does it increase rate of fire? No, it's 25 plus 25% projectiles plus 1 projectile, so that's useless. Flat damage for weapons that hits, that's also useless. Your weapon rapidly fires a barrage, we already do that, so I don't know if this scales on top of the charge rate. And it reduces shield cooldown by 15% and total recovery by 15%, so that would be 15% less fire rate. So I suppose barrage is not the best mod for thermal lance. Okay, let's reroll and hope for something good. Corrosion. Yeah, we didn't get purification even. So, ouch. So yeah, let's grab that sooner rather than later. Got him! I love it when comets destroy enemies, especially when they're bosses. Actually, recently when I was just thinking about streaming Nova Drift and I decided to just play a quick round, I had a run when something bugged out and the black hole like spawned simultaneously to a boss and didn't despawn at all. So the boss got kind of destroyed by the black hole. It's pretty interesting. I think I've seen that before. Okay, purification. This is blast radius, right? Yeah, blast radius, so we don't want that. I guess double top. Heavy caliber is for projectiles only, so it's pretty much useless. Well, all of this is pretty much useless. And we have no rerolls. What is our damage? Well, it's 12 damage. So and I guess this probably is sparks, not the thermal lance itself. So that 5% on bleeds doesn't really do anything for us. Ooh, that was a pretty nice explosion there from the Rapture. And there we go. This kind of reminds me the old days of barrage with railgun, how you can just chew through the Warbringer in seconds and push him out of the screen. They kind of nerfed that. I think the railgun doesn't have as much DPS with barrage now, and doesn't have as much knockback either. No, the train! I was so focused on that juggernaut that I didn't see the train. And it was such a big one. Okay, agility. I think we're kind of running out of upgrades that we would possibly want. Maybe some. Alright, because do we have Rancor? No. What am I missing for Rancor? Absorption. Okay, so that's definitely something that I'm gonna try to fish for. From here I don't. Maybe faster shield cooldown, but meh. Defiance, adaptive armor maybe, more solar heart. But I guess we would need the core shielding first before we start going ape on the solar hearts. Let's grab adaptive shielding. Oh, there's absorption, there's rancor. And there's nothing here really that I want. I mean, shield cooldown, I suppose. What is our shield cooldown at the moment? 6.8 seconds. Just chew through those snakes really effectively. The thermal lance kind of acts like the old railgun with the barrage in terms of pushing the enemies away. Ouch. Oh, I think I'm hearing Seraph in the background. I suppose this is better than nothing, and we don't. What else do I even need here? Yeah, it does. We do have charge shots. It's, as far as I know, it increases the rate that the thermal lance is charging at, so it reaches the max charge faster. And we even have the Rancor, which before it was fixed slash nerfed, you could get some screen white lances with it, because it basically, as long as you were charging the lance, it would get bigger and bigger whenever you were getting hit, and it would just never go away. And now I believe it just yeah, it's like falls off over time, so no infinite lances anymore. Because maybe this is like Ataraxia territory. We could, I suppose, just get defensive, because we got pretty decent DPS, I think. Maybe let's just add some defensive mods. And maybe we'll find something interesting on the way. I do wonder how, or if the lance even works with the warp strike. Probably not. I'm guessing the warp strike only works with projectiles. I'm not entirely sure. Boom. It's nice how the lance can get crazy DPS because of that vulnerability stacking. We're like, what, ticking for 5k at the end? You know, it's not a lot, considering you can get like 20-30,000 ticks on burns. Probably not on this build. I mean, we could definitely get that high of a tick on the lance, but there aren't enough. There are no enemies that have high enough health to allow us to stack enough vulnerability on them. It falls off pretty quickly if you stop shooting at them. Okay. I don't think I want anything from this. But do I just winnow it or simply reroll? I suppose it does decrease the size, so it will be harder to hit us. Sure. Why not? Force armor, I suppose. Even though the shield doesn't seem to break a lot anyway. I could go crazy and go siege weaponry. I don't know if I'm ready to make that kind of commitment just yet. Burn, baby, burn. It just always is like the best thing to watch those snakes explode with corrosion and rupture. The lance seems to be pretty effective at clearing waves, even though it's pretty much a single target weapon. How is this guy? Oh, holy shit! No. Yeah, I can't remember how is this boss named, but they really like to spawn him one after another Like I've seen, I've had runs when I had like 3 or 4 of them spawning in a row. Oh, random seraph. Interesting. I have to be pretty close to dying right now. There we go. Ooh. Game didn't really like that. A little bit of slowdown there. Oh yeah, the Scion. But yeah, I wonder if it's a deliberate choice that the game is spawning him so much, or is this just some bug in the algorithm? Holy shit. No! Give me health. Well, that was pretty close. However, it did boost our lungs for a while. Quite a big size. Also, I got like 5 or 6 upgrades, I think. Should really spend them. Okay, what do we have? Ooh, 11 rerolls. It's pretty nice. But yeah, again, what would I want? I guess some wild mods maybe? Could go for Ataraxia as well. 20% global damage. Actually, channeling would be really good as well, because it will... no, it is regeneration, not... regeneration and shield effect power, not like damage reduction. Where is this? This gives damage resistance post-stack. This was just for the duration, maybe? Kind of meh, since we can't really benefit from channeling all that much. Maybe let's go with more solar hearts. Why not? And masochism, also why not? Maybe defiance? This does give us plating. This gives more self-damage resistance and global damage. Sure, let's go with the defiance first. And double tap or masochism. Suppose 7%. Maybe let's add the masochism to the mix. And how would the singular strike work with thermal lance? Size and blast radius, but like what I always have an issue with the singular strike, like what is the existing instance of your primary weapon. I guess the primary weapon is the lance, so we always have just a single instance of it, right? Because the sparks will be secondary weapon, or are the sparks also part of the primary weapon? Because if the sparks are part of the primary weapon, then singular strike will just reduce our blast radius by 50%. And the weapon damage as well. So it's kind of like so I don't suppose I guess we can try it if we're gonna get it. More defiance in the meanwhile. If we get another level, I'll try to just reroll hard for the singular strike and see how it plays with it. Because I imagine that the lance itself would be the primary weapon, right? And not the sparks. Okay, I think we have everything for the singular strike, yeah? Payload and juggernaut. Is that everything? Yeah, but per projectile of the primary weapon, right? I suppose like, here I don't know if the sparks are part of the primary weapon or not, because the twisting sparks are affected by projectile mods. So I suppose that so I suppose the singular strike would be just bad for the thermal lance then, because we are shooting out a lot of those twisting sparks. So it would I guess it would just pretty much break the thermal lance, because it would give us minus 50% to the blast radius. And maybe not the greatest idea if it's sure, let's just find it and try it. Because it's, yeah, minus 10% total damage, size and blast radius for each weapon or projectile instance. Okay, let's see. Okay. Well, so far it's really big, but that was Rancor working. I don't know, it's... I guess the projectiles, the twisting sparks definitely got smaller. I can see that. But the lance itself... Like it seems to be fluctuating in size. But maybe I'm just imagining things. Well, seems to be working just fine. Lance, it's always really difficult to tell whether it got bigger or smaller. I guess someone have to put a ruler to the screen and check whether it got bigger or not. Stuff is getting pretty crazy. Okay, so what else? I guess just go for wild modes. This last stand, I think it's gonna be pretty pointless because I'm just going to melt from the solar hard damage instantly. So I suppose let's just try. Maybe we'll get another chance, or maybe not. But yeah, I do wonder about that enemies update, because right now, past wave 100, it's pretty much turning into just a bullet hell, and you want as much clearing power as you can get. And I suppose with that, those new enemies, this won't be a case anymore. Oh, shit. That got pretty close as well. I think I'm getting close to the... Shit. I think I'm getting close to wave 200. Not sure what wave it is right now. Really need my health back. you could just die, that would be great. Thank you. Yep. And the last stand didn't really work like I suspected. We just instantly melted with the solar heart. Oh well. Yeah, if you get in a bad way, it can get really difficult to get out of that tight spot with the essence sap if you don't have anything to instantly get your health back from, especially if you constantly take burning damage. Okay then. I don't know if I have a time for another run. I'm streaming for over 2 hours now, and it's getting pretty late into the night. Okay, Hamstinator. I think it will be the last one for me as well. I'm gonna get some sleep. So thanks for watching, and good night then. Maybe see you in another stream.